Hey guys, Patrick Wind here and welcome to this training model in which I'm going to show you how to go live with your A/B testing and prospecting. This is actually a very cool model because I'm going to show you exactly how you can translate the A/B testing structure that we have already set up in Excel to your actual ad account. So this is a very practical one and I'm very much looking forward to sharing my know-how and my tips and tricks on how you do it how you can really set it up in Ads Manager. So let's get started, guys. Before we do anything, let's have a look once again on our A/B testing guideline. So we said we want to start 5 different A/B tests. Okay, we're gonna do all of them in the same campaign, and for each option that we have, so this lookalike 3% or lookalike 6%, we need one ad set, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tests that we want to run. 2, 5, 8, 10, 13 ad sets. So it's gonna be one campaign with 13 ad sets, and in each of them we just put one ad so that we're not confusing our results, because we just really want to have everything completely identical in our A/B tests, but we just change, in this case, the audience. Is it a 3% or a 6%? So guys, let's get started. As we said, let's make this a little bit bigger so we see more. We said we create just one campaign. Of course, it's going to be a conversion campaign. We call this one A/B testing, and that's it on campaign level. If you ever wondered if you should do your A/B tests with the create split test option, the answer is no, don't do it. Not on this level, okay? For now, we just do it the way that I present with the guideline, and then in module 5, when it comes to analysis deep dive, we're gonna discuss in more detail what are the advantages and disadvantages that you have with this option. But for now, I would strongly recommend to do the A/B testing the way that we have set it up with our guideline. So we just do it without clicking this button. We just do it in a standard way, which is the more scalable and more dynamic and more flexible way, and that's the perfect way to get started. And then in module 5 we can also talk about this option, but it's only recommendable if you already have the entire other A/B testing structure set up in the way that we do it with our guideline. So for you it's much more important to do it this way right now. So just one campaign, one conversion campaign, clicking here on continue. That's everything we need to do on campaign level. Then here, of course, you can select purchase or initiate checkout or add to cart or whatever as a conversion goal here. That doesn't matter. I mean, that's not what we're testing right now. If we would like to test, the optimization event, is it better purchase or initiate checkout? That's of course an option in the future. Purchase or add to cart or initiate checkout. That's definitely worth a test, but it's not the most important test, okay? And that's a test that you should run after you have tested all the different audiences, okay? First the audiences, then the creatives, then the copies, and then we're gonna test the optimization events, okay? So for now, we're gonna continue with just using whatever you want to initiate checkout or purchase, whatever you feel comfortable with, and we just test the different audiences, okay? The first one we want to test is lookalike 3% versus lookalike 6% in Spain. So let's just do it. Here we use a lookalike audience. We said we want to test 3%. So you could either try to find it in the list here. We set the 3% on purchase 180, for example, and in the other one we're going to test the lookalike 6%, lookalike 6% on purchase 180. And if you face the same problem that I face here, that it's not that you can find it in the list, you can look for it, for example, like this. You see, like it's basically a filter where you can type in the name, like elements of the name, and it will find it. So in this case, for example, like this is not even, you could even do it just like this, right? Like 6%, it will give you all the 6% that we have. So of course they need to be the same. So these are gonna be the two ones that we compare, right? So the lookalike 3% in Spain on purchase 180 versus the 6%. But we cannot set it up this way. We cannot put both of them in the same ad set. It was just to demonstrate where we have them, okay? So one ad set, this is the first one. This is this option here, okay? This one is the 3%. So let's label it properly. So it's code number 001. That's the first A/B test that we're going to run. It's a test on prospecting lookalike. It's going to be conducted in Spain, and here we test the lookalike. Here we test the lookalike 3%. 3%. We can also just edit on purchase 180. So that's already good. That's everything we have to set up here. All the other options we leave as they are, but the budget we said we want to give it 10 euro per day. 10 euro, and everything else we leave as it is. Good. Then we go on ad level. Here on ad level, we just want to give it a standard ad. For example, let's call it single image, copy A, or whatever. In the best case, you would have a copy already prepared up front. So for example, this one, could have that one here. And for the image, let's just do a single image. Let's take a standard one, library, this one. Confirm. And we're almost good to go. Just give it here also a URL, and now it is good to go. Well, substitute by the copy. So very important, sometimes per default the pixel doesn't show up, but it is very important that you always make sure that the pixel measures, okay, to edit this setting. Okay, it's super important that you always choose it here, okay? And now we can confirm. And this would be our first element of the first A/B testing. So we test this one in this campaign. We are going to test the 3% versus the 6%, and we have already set up the 3%. So now we will have to set up also the 6%. Here we see that how much it loads and so on. For this little test here, let me turn off the campaign that is not going to spend. I also recommend you to have it turned off until the moment when you're completely fine with the setup. Okay, so within the A/B testing campaign, we already have the 3% one created. Now we need the 6%, right? So let's just do it. And now it's very easy and very scalable. So we just duplicate the ad set within the original campaign, okay, which is basically the same as if you would do this. This is completely the same as if you would click just on original campaign, but in the existing campaign it gives you just all the other campaigns that have been already created. So let's do original campaign because it's faster. And now the code has to be the same, has to be 001 because it's within the same A/B test, but we're testing the 6%. And we just need to change the audience. Instead of the 3%, we're now going to take the 6% based on the same seed audience. So purchase 180, and we can publish it, and we're good to go. So that would be our first A/B testing between 3% and 6%. Has the same copy, same image, same ad type, everything the same. What's here? Oh, no worries. Let's just refresh that. And now the second thing, the second test that we want to set up is a lookalike based on purchase better than a lookalike based on add to cart than on view content. And you're gonna see that now everything is gonna be very fast. So we could take, for example, the first one that we have created. We can duplicate it. We can duplicate it even 3 times already, because we have seen number of options 3 times in the next one. And in each of the options, we just give it a different audience. Okay, so let's do one by one. The first one, so now it has the identification number 002. It is still prospecting lookalike, it is still in Spain, but now we want to test whether it's purchase 180 or another one. So let's see, lookalike audiences. Exactly, it's still gonna be the 3%. So it's basically this audience. Lookalike is Spain 3% purchase 180. Lookalike Spain 180. Okay, good. This one is ready. Let's go for into the second one. In this one, it's gonna be 002, and the lookalike 3% is now based on add to cart, so ETC, basically add to cart. And here we change it, so we look for the 3%, this one, get rid of this. So 002, perfect. We see if the add to cart 180 is better or the purchase, or, and now the third option, view content. Edit 002, let's call it view content, like VC, basically stands for view content. Here we can look for view content, get rid of 108 of the purchase. So that's good, and we can now publish all of our new elements. Why is it 6? Well, because we have 3 ad sets and each of them has an ad in it. So now this is going to take a little bit because it's published 6 elements, but we already live with our first 2 tests, and now we also want to launch our third test. The third test is also a prospecting lookalike test. Here we're actually testing if a lookalike that's based on time spent top 5%, top 10% or top 25% works the best. So let's just do it. Once again, take the first one that we have created, duplicate it 3 times because we have 3 options in this specific case. Let's duplicate it. Of course, all of them need a different number, actually the number 3. If I do it this way, now that's nice. It changes in all 3 of them because we were changing them in bulk, but now I want to select just once. Well, it's actually nice. We could also delete copy already on all of them. You see, this way it's done in all of them in bulk. And now we want to go into each one of them separately. Now we want to take the lookalike based on the time top 5 spent, like the top 5 spent of time. So how did we call it? Visitors by time spent. Visitors, the 3% of visitors by time spent, top 5%. Get rid of this. So this is the first option here, the lookalike based 3% in Spain based on the visitors by time spent, top 5%. Nice. Let's also call it properly. This one is now the 3%, but not based on 180, but visitors time spent top 5%, 180. Nice. Can also copy that, makes it easier in the second option. Now we want to edit this one. Nice, nice. So let's go through all of them once again, because there was a little Facebook loves me, and that's very nice when it does that. So we just go one-on-one in more detail. So once again, that was number 5, and we said this one is is a lookalike, 3% based on visitor spend 180. So we just, okay, here it's already here. That is good. Nice. Okay, very good. And then in the second one, time spent, but now it should be the 10%. So here we choose now the 10%. Visitors. Top 10%. You see here, top 10%. Nice. And then here in the third one, we choose the top 25%. Top 25%. Lookalike here, save. And that's good to see if we've done everything correct. We just make this a little bit broader. Then we publish. And while it is publishing, we can already prepare ourselves for the 4th and 5th A/B test that we're going to launch, which is just based on interests. Okay, here we test the interest in smartwatch, if it works better than the interest in Rolex, or this one, here we test if the watch plus engaged shoppers or watch plus Facebook page admin actually works better. So basically within the same campaign, we're just going to duplicate the ad sets once again, and we need just 4 further ad sets, and our A/B testing prospecting is live. So let's take the first one once again, because that's where we did our initial setup. Let's duplicate it 3 times. Do we need it 3 times or 2 times? Actually, we only need it 2 times. Very good. So let's duplicate it just 2 times. Let's give this one number 4. And now it's not anymore prospecting interest, prospecting lookalike. Now it's prospecting interest. And we're testing, the first option that we're testing is smartwatch, exactly. And now there is a very interesting thing that you have to have in mind. When you use saved audiences, you will not find them in here. So you would search for smartwatch, but you wouldn't find anything. So that's a problem because they're not a lookalike audience, and they're also not a custom audience. They're a saved audience, and therefore you find them here. So super important, when you search for the smartwatch now, you wouldn't find them in here. You have to go here to new audiences, and so you could either scroll down and you can see here the smartwatch already, or you could also just do it in the search bar here. So Spain smartwatch and title smartwatch. Nice. And in the other one, we said we want to give it the Rolex audience. So Rolex. Once again, this is not a custom audience. This is a saved audience. So we could use it from here. And we're good. So we can review and publish. Yes, it's only 4 because we have 2 ad sets. Each of them have 2 ads. And we're almost done. The last test that we have is between the engaged shoppers and the page admins. So nice, this is already live. So once again, we can go down to the first ad set that we have created. We can duplicate it one last time twice. We give it the 2 new audiences, and we're good. So this is number 5. Get rid of copy. Close it like this. And in the first one, we said it's the saved audience watch plus engaged shoppers. So let's call it this way. Interest engaged shoppers. You find it down here. Engaged shoppers. Nice. And here the very last ad set that we have to edit It's of course also interest, and we said that one's the Facebook page admins, and the Facebook page admins we're also gonna find here, page admins. And believe it or not, we're done. We can review our last ad set changes and ad changes, publish them, and we're actually live with our A/B testing in prospecting. So let's summarize all of this once again very quickly. We have set up those 5 tests. We have clearly labeled them on ad set level with the identificator. We've given them €10 budget per ad set for each of them. We have set up different options, in some cases A/B tests, in others ABC tests, and now they're up and running. They are all within this one campaign which is a conversion campaign that we labeled A/B testing. We could even give it here prospecting in front of that, prospecting A/B testing. Okay, and within this prospecting A/B testing campaign we have now several ad sets. Each of them has one ad, and they're all live and they're all up and running, and after a couple of days, so in this specific case 3 days, or after 4 days, or whatever you prefer, we will have results on the main KPI, which is cost per add to cart or ROAS or whatever you want to define, and we will see which got better or worse result. We can define our conclusion, and then we see who is the winner, and based on the winner we will derive new variations of our A/B tests. We will iterate and we will find new option with the main goal to really find the winning ad set, the winning audience, in order to lower our cost per acquisition and increase our return on ad spend. So guys, thank you very much for listening, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.